What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be unboxing and reviewing the newest lights from Shredlights, the SL-300s and the SL-R1s. Both the SL-R1 and the SL-300 are the upgraded version of the predecessor, the SL-200. The SL-300 are the front lights, these are the white lights, and the SL-R1s are the rear lights, or the red lights. So this is the first time Shredlights has really opted to make two different names for front lights and rear lights, which I kind of like because they serve very different purposes when riding. So starting with the SL-300, Shredlights have basically the same packaging that they used on the SL-200, and as usual they absolutely nailed it. Shredlights always has incredible packing that make their products feel very well polished. So straight out of the box, the lights are the first thing on top inside of their cardboard cutouts, and immediately you can tell that they look very similar to that of an SL-200 light. There are just a couple upgrades to them. Underneath that cardboard piece inside of the box, there are all the accessories that Shredlights includes. There's the charger, which is a dual USB-C charger. That's one of the upgrades. They've upgraded their charge port on the light, which we'll talk about in a minute. They've also included an instruction manual. Very nice touch. It is a guide for both the 300 and the R1, and it's a really nice addition to the box so that anyone that isn't familiar with the light can get these things up and running. And then finally at the very bottom there are stickers. Shredlights always has a lot of stickers in their packages, which I absolutely love because I can rep those stickers when riding. Here are the SL-300s, and as you can see, the body and shape really do resemble the SL-200. However, they've completely upgraded nearly every feature in this light. Starting with the brightness. These are now 300 lumens compared to the 200s, which were 200 lumens, which means these are now 50% brighter than before, and you can really tell a difference in this brightness. According to Shredlights, the SL-300s are also more rugged and built to last compared to any previous version of the light. The outer rubber shell is now actually permanently bonded to the inside plastic, which means that the rubber casings aren't going to tear off like they used to on the SL-200s. So that's a huge plus because these lights are much more rugged. And you can really feel it, as that rubberized piece isn't flexible and able to stretch on the frame of the light. It just stays stuck to it like a nice solid single piece. The SL-300 still utilizes the S-Lock mounting system, meaning that you can still use the exact same mounts that you've had for your SL-200s. They have, however, upgraded the actual mount on the light itself. According to Shredlight's website, they've added a third point of contact on the mounts on the back of the light, which increases the stability and durability of these lights, meaning that your S-Lock mounts on your light won't snap off or break anymore. Another massive upgrade is the change to a USB-C charging port. This has become more of a standard nowadays, but the older lights used a micro USB, so it's nice to see a USB-C, which is just a nicer charger. I also really like the new cap that they have that covers the USB charge port. It's just a little bit more robust than that on the SL-200, which is probably going to render this light a little bit more waterproof. Speaking of the waterproofness, the SL-300 is IPX7 waterproof, which means that this light is waterproof when it's underwater at a depth of 1 meter for 30 minutes, which is very impressive. Another massive upgrade to these lights is the addition of what Shredlights calls the full face lens. This effectively means that they've just maximized the area that the lens is on these lights. The huge benefit to this is the fact that now light actually shines out of the side of the light, meaning that visibility is greater from different angles. As opposed to just being seen from head-on, riders can now be seen from the sides with greater ease. The SL-300s also now include a battery indicator on the light that shines different colors depending on battery, which is a great feature to have to know when to charge. The SL-300s are just also aesthetically a beautiful light. I love the appearance of them and the design. There's clearly been a lot of thought and engineering that has gone into these, and they are, simply put, just a beautiful and very well polished product. Next up we have the SL-R1, and this light is pretty much exactly the same as the SL-300 except it's a red light. So the packaging is identical. I won't go over it because it's literally exactly the same, just different lights. Even the instruction manual is the same. The body and the SL-R1 itself is a very similar light to the SL-300. I would almost say it's identical except for a few subtle differences. The first is that there's an SL-R1 graphic on the side, and that the front lens cap has a red box surrounding it. Other than that, it appears to be the exact same light. It has the same USB-C charge port and USB-C covers, the exact same body with that new bonding technique for the rubber to the plastic, and the exact same body shape, design, and everything else. Overall, just like the SL-300, it's a super solid light. I don't really need to say much else as I've already gone over the SL-300, and they're identical in terms of the body. As for the specs, these are a little bit different than the SL-300s. The brightness on these is 40 lumens compared to the 300 lumens on the SL-300. This definitely has something to do with the fact that these are taillights and not headlights, not needing to be as bright, but regardless, even if they're only 40 lumens, they can be seen from up to 2,000 feet away according to Shredlights, which is absolutely crazy. The spec sheet that Shredlights has for these lights is quite remarkable. The SL-300 on its highest setting does 2 hours, and on its lowest setting can do up to 20 hours, and the SL-R1 on its highest setting can do up to 6 hours, and on the lowest setting it can do 60 plus hours. Overall, I'm super impressed with the upgrades that Shredlights have made to the SL-300 and the SL-R1. They retain that compact size but have a ton of really cool new features that might be worth the upgrade for you. So now that we've gone over the unboxing and what's included and these things from a physical standpoint, it's time to put these things to the test by night riding with them. So first things up, we have a demo of the 6 different riding modes on the SL-300s, starting with the lowest solid mode. Then we have the medium brightness mode, and then we have the high brightness mode. For blinking, we have slow blinking, fast blinking, and then there's a burst blinking mode. All of these are extremely bright. I tend to use these lights in the highest solid brightness mode just so that I can see what's in front of me while riding. These 300 lumen lights are absolutely insanely bright, and I can't emphasize enough how bright these are. The camera just doesn't do it justice, and you really have to see them in person to recognize how bright the SL-300s are. I'm super impressed with the throw that they have and their visibility from far distances. I honestly haven't been able to ride far enough from a camera where I can still see the actual rider that I can't see the light. So you're going to be able to be seen with your Shredlights basically by any car from any distance. The new lens design is also something that I've been very impressed by. I didn't think that it would make that much of a difference, but the ability to be seen from the side is a huge upgrade. It definitely makes riding at night a lot safer if you can be seen from more directions. Now for the 6 modes on the SL-R1. We have the lowest solid mode, the medium solid mode, and the brightest solid mode. Next we have blinking mode 1, which is slow blink, we have blinking mode 2, which is fast blink, and then we have the burst blink mode. From up close, the SL-R1s don't look particularly bright, but the magic really begins when you start to get farther away from these, as their long shot visibility is very impressive. I think that this is because the SL-R1 serves a very different purpose than that of the SL-300. As opposed to being used to see what's in front of you, the sole purpose of the SL-R1 is to be seen by others when riding. Overall, both the SL-300 and the SL-R1 are solid and very bright lights. I've been super impressed with how they are just on their own without even having a reference point for the SL-200s. However, now that we've taken a look at these on their own and just gotten some glances at them, let's take a comparison between the SL-200s and the SL-R1 and SL-300s to see what the major differences are and how much better these perform than those. On the left side here we have the SL-200s, and on the right side we have the SL-300s, and it's clear that the SL-300s are much brighter. From a different angle, here are the SL-200s from the side profile, and then here are the SL-300s from that same side profile. Side by side, it's clear that once again the SL-300s have a much brighter capacity and a much farther throw than the SL-200s. Also, just from a visibility standpoint, when standing on the board, here are the 200s, and then here are the 300s. It's a smaller difference for this one, but it's clear that if you want more visibility while riding, the SL-300s actually do have better visibility and are brighter. As for the taillights, the SL-200s are on the left and the SL-R1s are on the right, and from a close range they actually look very similar to one another. But the farther you get back, the more the SL-R1s seem brighter. Once again, SL-R1s are on the right, SL-200s are on the left. Like I said, these things perform best when they're farthest away, and from the farthest point, it's clear that the SL-R1s are much brighter. From a close range, they look very similar to one another, but when you're far away, the SL-R1s are a huge upgrade for visibility. My experience while riding with these lights has also been overwhelmingly positive. The big upgrade that I've noticed for both the SL-R1 and the SL-300 is their ability to be seen from far distances. As you can see right here with the SL-R1, it's over 1,000 feet away right here, and it's still visible. Same thing with the SL-300, 1,000 feet away at least right here, and it's still clear as day. If you're worried about being seen at night, the SL-300s and the SL-R1 are must-haves. These things are so insanely bright, I think that anyone on the road at the same time with these lights on is going to be able to see you. They're impossible to miss now that they're so bright and can throw light farther than ever. The combined 600 lumens of light on these front SL-300s also means that the visibility for the rider while on the board is also upgraded better than ever before. I still don't feel 100% confident just having the SL-300s on my board for scouting out any sort of obstacles in the road. However, it's better than it's ever been with just a set of headlights. With the addition of an SL-1000 on my helmet, I feel 100% confident, but the SL-300s are still a little iffy. Most of the time there's enough external light from street lamps, buildings, etc., so I'm fine with just the SL-300s for seeing the road in front of me, but if I'm riding in a pitch black situation, having an SL-1000 is really nice. I mentioned this earlier in the video, but after a month of filming this board from the side, it's clear that the extended wide lens makes a huge difference while riding at night. The side visibility on these SL-300s is unlike any of the other shred lights that they've released in the past, which means that now more than ever you're going to be visible from other angles, which is a very important safety feature to be seen by others. Moving away from the performance of the brightness of these lights, something that I really want to highlight is the increased durability of these lights. The new manufacturing technique of how they actually bond the rubber to the plastic on the light has really increased the strength, and it's noticeable. Additionally, the new reinforced S-lock mount also feels a lot stronger and feels like the light is more secure and snapped tighter to the board. I really appreciate that they use the exact same S-lock mount, meaning that all of the mounts that I had on my previous boards still work for these lights, and I can still use a combination of SL-200s and SL-300s on my boards. Perhaps the best feature about shred lights is that they can be interchanged between any electric vehicles seamlessly. Shred lights has a plethora of mount options available on their website, from one-wheels to e-bikes to e-scooters to e-skates. These lights really do work on any electric vehicle that you want. We are currently using their bar mounts to mount the SL-R1s to the back of our DIY electric mini bike. It's so nice because we can use the exact same set of lights on both our e-board and our e-bike and switch them between the two with ease. I also really do love the fact that they opted to use a USB-C. It's a much better charging port and just connector overall, so I'm really happy about that. I honestly don't have any complaints or suggestions for these lights. As of right now, I've loved every second while riding them. So the burning question that I'm sure that all of you guys are wondering is it worth upgrading from your current SL-200s to get a new set of these SL-300s? And to be honest, that's a very complicated question. Personally, the SL-300s are a great light. You're absolutely going to love them if you buy them, but a set of SL-200s in good shape already gets the job done very well. Obviously, if you don't have a set of lights and you're looking for a set of lights, get the SL-300s. They are the best lights on the market, hands down, and I can't recommend them enough. But if you already have a set of SL-200s you're happy with, stick with those. Those are also great lights. I would personally instead use that money to buy something like an SL-1000, which is a much more powerful single light that you can mount to your helmet, and that really, in my opinion, is the ultimate setup, having 2 lights in the front, 2 in the back, and then an SL-1000 on the helmet. That, however, is an entirely different discussion, and Shredlights just released a ton of new combination packs with various different lights on their website. So we will be making a full detailed tutorial on all of the various packs and describing which ones we use for different riding styles as well as different electric vehicles, so that you guys can get a good idea of which pack might be the right one for you guys. So stay tuned for that video coming out in the near future. These lights are currently selling for $119.99, and the SL-200s are also currently on sale due to the release of these newer lights. We have an affiliate discount code in the description below that will give you guys some money off while also helping us at the same time. If you guys have any questions or comments or just want to share your experience using Shredlight's products or the new lights, please let us know in the comment section below. We would love to hear them. We are very active down there, so we will get back to you as fast as we can. If you guys enjoyed this video and have made it this far, also please consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel for more DIY electric skateboard and electric skateboard content. We've got a ton of other great reviews coming up later this summer and some other Shredlights content. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.